not just Chelsea's under-21, Spurs under-21s, 3 down at Plymouth in half an hour. Man City's under-21s, 3 down at Bolton inside 25 minutes. The EFL sides showing up well in the Virtue Trophy tonight. Are they going to do that in the Carabao Cup this evening? I wonder. Already, Andy, what a noise here. There have been some big cup nights here in the past as the teams make their way out. Fantastic atmosphere, isn't it?
Brilliant atmosphere, Aid. Yeah, absolutely right. As you can imagine, I would think everybody in Lincoln today has been really excited about this one, the prospect of what we're about to see, and it's a great turnout. It really is. It is.
Liverpool-Southampton gets underway at 8 on Talksport 2 this evening. Tomorrow night it's Port Vale Arsenal on Talksport. Forest away to Betis in the Europa League on Talksport 2 tomorrow night. Thursday, Villa against Bologna in Europe. Tonight, though, it's about the chance of Chelsea, the world champions, being embarrassed by League One Lincoln live on Talksport with former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend alongside your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you. Well, it was the county of Lincolnshire that witnessed the major story in the last round of this competition, with one former European champion humbled. Now another makes the journey here, hoping to avoid the same fate. Sinsel-Bank is about 40 miles southwest of Grimsby, where Manchester United's exit on penalties made footballing headlines around the world. Tonight, Lincoln City aim to join the Mariners in the 4th round by beating Chelsea for only the 2nd time in their history. They are a club with a cup pedigree. You'll remember that extraordinary run to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup as a non-league team just a few years back, when they beat Championship high flyers Brighton and Premier League Burnley on their way to the last 8. And since then, they've made huge strides. Back into the league, out of League 2 at the 2nd attempt, and now firmly established towards the top of League 1, where they're currently 3rd. And to put that in perspective, if they were to finish there, it would represent their best league campaign for more than 60 years. The League Cup, though, is a tournament of rotation these days, even for Lincoln. 5 changes to the team that beat Luton here at the weekend. They've recalled Cheacock in goal, a back 5 in front of him, of the Requa, Monsma, Bradley, Towler and Hamer. Bartholomew, the £350,000 summer signing, Lincoln's record buy, coming in for his full home debut alongside Conor McGrandles in midfield, and a front 3 of Street and House, wide of Freddie Draper, who's a Chelsea fan as a boy. Chelsea make 8 changes. Jurgensen in goal, Gusto, Chalobah and Fofana, the starting centre-half partnership from the defeated Old Trafford at the weekend, retain their places. Harto on the left, then Andre Santos and Enzo Fernandez, Garnacho, Buonanotte and Gittins, and Tyreek George leads the line. On the benches for Lincoln, it's Wickens, Reach, Hackett, Bayliss and Collins, Thorne, Ring, Okoronkwo and Abikwu. For Chelsea, Slanina, Kukurea, Neto, James and Caicedo, and 4 teenagers, Stavo, Walsh, Harrison and Mahuka. One man who's not featuring tonight, Mark Guiu. They have changed the eligibility rules, easy for me to say, in this competition. He played and scored in round 2 for Sunderland, but you are now allowed to play in 2 different rounds in this competition before you're cup tied for 2 different clubs. But Guiu not in the 20. Lincoln, on the other hand, have got Oscar Thorne, who's in the same boat, having played in round 1 for Colchester on their bench. So I don't know whether it's an oversight, a little bit of uncertainty with the regulations with Guiu not featuring tonight, or something more than that. Lincoln red and white striped shirts, black shorts, and they're going to be defending the Stacey West stand away to our right hand side. At the city end of the ground, if you like, the cathedral barely visible with the darkness having fallen here in Lincolnshire. The champions of the world, but Chelsea's wait for a domestic honour is into an 8th season. Their League Cup campaign begins with a much changed side facing a tricky test. The best Lincoln side in generations, unbeaten in 10, and hoping to be the first lower division club to knock Chelsea out of the League Cup since the 1990s. Back in the day when John Beck was manager here, used to see some agricultural rudimentary, very effective Route 1 football, and from the kick-off here,
yes,
Lincoln just put a high up and under forward. They've won a throw from that, and here is the first long throw of the night that Hamer is going to take, launching it inside that penalty area, but Chelsea are able to repel the threat.
And to give you an idea where that throw come from, Hamer threw that from the technical area, right in front of the Chelsea bench. Literally ran through the technical area to hurl it 40 odd yards. He's got it in his arms. Once again, this is coming right under the post, Jim.
This one is near the edge of the penalty area as it's launched in towards the penalty spot, taking an awkward bounce. And it was almost flicked towards goal by Bartholomew. Goes out towards the right-hand side of midfield. Little reverse ball. Shot across the face of goal. Hits the inside of the post from Monsma. Another ball in. Fofana heads that away. Another ball in. McGrandle's waiting for that. Chelsea already 90 seconds into the game know that they're in a proper match here. Another long ball is launched for inside the penalty area. Out comes the goalkeeper, punches it clear, not particularly effectively. And when the ball is headed back in, a Lincoln player sportingly stands, arm above his head to say stop, because Fofana's gone down with a head injury, and the goalkeeper who clattered into him also lies spread-eagled inside the 6-yard box.
Wow.
What a start.
What a start to the game. You're absolutely right. Just while we see Jorgensen and Fofana getting treatment, the Chelsea goalie come flying out to try and deal with a cross there, clattered into his own centre-half, both guys down on the floor. So we've got a bit of a breather here, and it's a chance for Chelsea just to make sure they get the message to everybody. Right, lads, we know we're in for a bit of a game here. Whenever they go out of possession, which has only been once, I think, since kick-off, but all we've seen is Lincoln piling it into the box with bodies in there, whether it's long throws, crosses. The strike from Lewis Monsma was a brilliant shot that rattled off the post. Could easily have come out to a red and black shirt. It didn't. It went back out towards the corner flag. Very, very unlucky. But what a start. What a way to signal to everybody in the ground, and what a way to unsettle a Premier League team that are coming here to want to try and keep the ball on the floor and play a bit.
I mean, they must have been 3 inches away from taking the lead because of the angle of the shot from Monsma that clipped the inside of the post. He's desperately unlucky. If he put about 3 inches to the right, he would have hit the post and gone in.
It would have. Absolutely right, Jim. But yeah, really good start. So I think I'm sure the Chelsea players they'll have all been well prepped and versed on exactly what Lincoln are all about. But we've seen a little bit of everything there in that opening few minutes. We've seen an up and under straight from the kickoff to gain a bit of territory, 2 long throws in the box, 3 crosses, and a shot that rattled the post. So that bodes well for the home team. Now it's time for Chelsea to make sure that they just respond.
Apart from that, though, it's been a good start for Chelsea.
Whoa. Wow. I tell you, Wesley Fofana, he's been looking left, looking right, up, down, everywhere, and then the next thing, his goalkeeper flattens him right on the edge of the 6-yard box. Thankfully, he's back up on his feet.
So Chelsea able to continue with the 11. It's about this stage of the game that they had Rob Sanchez sent off at Old Trafford on Saturday. We've had 4 minutes since the game started, probably only seen 90 seconds worth of action. And play will resume with a drop ball given to Monsma by referee Donahue. Pumped back inside the penalty area. Another looping header to Tess Jorgensen, and his handling was good on that occasion, coming to the edge of his penalty area to be able to make the save.
Yeah, clever ball actually, clipped into the box by McGrandles. Sonny Bradley it was that was on the end of that, with that header back across the 6-yard box. Just got a bit too much on it. The goalkeeper was able to claim it quite comfortably. Another great challenge there on the far side. Chelsea, if you're having 2 and 3 touches, you're going to have a red and white shirt all over you.
They do press quite brilliantly. Luton will be able to testify to that, amongst many other sides, from the way that Lincoln forced their first goal at the weekend. And they've got another throw as a result of that, which Hamer is going to take. Tom Hamer, the former Alderman Burton centre-half, who's playing at wing-back tonight, playing on the left, but this throw is going to be taken over on the far touchline from us, the Lincoln right. And again, the penalty area is loaded. 3 waiting for the seconds on the edge of the box. That one knocks along, and Tyreek George could head it away. Back it comes into the fray from the edge of the penalty area. Chelsea desperately trying to get their foot on the ball to get it clear, can't do so. Montsma started well, feeding Hamer over on the right-hand side. His little flick out towards McGrandles, couldn't find him, and then Garnacho comes back, and he got caught. It's a free kick that Chelsea will take in the left-back position over on the far touchline. 6 gone, Lincoln 0, Chelsea 0, and the world champions haven't had a touch of the ball in Lincoln territory so far.
Very true. It's the first time, actually, as Alejandro Garnacho wins that free kick deep in his own territory, that Chelsea have actually had a chance to just draw breath and try and keep the ball. Unfortunately, it hasn't lasted long because they've lost possession. Tyreek George just miscontrolling that one.
Ball knocked long by G-Cock, the Lincoln City goalkeeper. Bartholomew doing well to win the ball in the midfield. Turns it down the left-hand side for Hamer's run. Gusto back defending for Chelsea. Pokes it just outside the penalty area where Draper thought that he won it back cleanly to dispossess Andre Santos. But it is going to be a free kick to Chelsea. Draper is a big, barrel-chested, old-fashioned striker, and I mean that as a compliment. He was describing me earlier as being like a modern-day Joe Royle in terms of the way that he will lead the lines. He's all about presence rather than mere goal-getting, but he's a menace. He's
a menace, he certainly is. He's a big lad, and use it cleverly. If you've got an advantage over people around you, and those big guys, they can lean into him. Where he's going to benefit in this team, Jimmy knows the ball's arriving in the box. It's not, they don't dwell when they get in wide areas, Lincoln. They put it straight in there.
Now Towler coming forward from centre half. The referee decided that he hadn't got clean possession and has pulled play back to give Lincoln a free kick on the left-hand touchline. There's a little bit of frustration at that decision because McGrandles and Draper then seemingly were in a position they could have come forward towards the edge of the box, but it has been pulled back for a Conor McGrandles free kick. 7.5 gone, 0-0 all Lincoln in these early stages. They're a side clearly very confident, unbeaten in 10. They've only lost 1 out of the last 13 here at the LNER Stadium. Free kick is swept in deep towards the far post, headed back across the edge of the 6-yard box. Bradley the target, shot comes in from distance, deflects away, and Jurgensen sprinting after it. Can't prevent the first corner of the night, which will be taken on the Lincoln right.
Yep. Again, that wide free kick, not deep into the box. It's a red and white shirt that makes first contact, heads it back into a ruck of players around the penalty spot. Half cleared, but deflected out for a corner on the far side. Really positive start from the home team.
Bartholomew will go out to take it. He's got good experience in the Czech Republic, reached a couple of Czech Cup quarter-finals. In comes this away swinging delivery, little flick back towards the edge of the penalty area, couldn't find a man, it's cleared out as far as the Rikwa. Right-footed ball fall from him, chested down on the right-hand side of the area, and a snapshot is snatched wide of the near post.
Yeah, I think that was Draper hit that one. It's just a little bit wide of the post. Decent ball in to the far post. The big centre forward took it on his chest onto his right foot from a pretty tight angle, but just didn't quite get it on target.
Well, Andy, you made the point that Chelsea would have been very well prepped, knowing what you're facing and being able to deal with it can be two completely different things at times. I think that Enzo Maresca, notwithstanding that he would have expected Lincoln to fly out the traps, will be disappointed with the way that Chelsea have been just leaning back against the ropes in these early stages.
Yeah, they have. Hey, look, I'll tell you what I'd be saying. If I was out there and if you're Enzo Fernandez, let's turn them round a little bit. We're trying to play, we're trying to keep the ball in our own half. We want to play some nice, pretty one-touch, and we've got a team swarming all over us. Let's turn them round just a little bit and see what they've got running back to their own goal.
Chelsea pick up the ball on the right-hand touchline, but Marlo Gusto was offside as he did so. It's a Lincoln free kick. First goal of the night in the Carabao Cup at Oakwell for Mark Wilson.
Barnsley 0, Brighton 1. Welbeck shot from the edge of the box, deflected into the path of Tom Watson. He squared it, and there was Diego Gomez to slot in from close range. Barnsley 0, Brighton 1.
We'll be going around the grounds very shortly, find out what's been going on in the early stages of those games elsewhere. And don't forget, over on Talksport 2, Liverpool against Southampton will be kicking off in about 4-5 minutes time. Belting cup tie here in Lincolnshire, 0-0 between Lincoln and Chelsea. Lincoln superior at the moment. Ball out of the left-hand side. Hamer turning it around the corner for the run of Riley Towler, the former Portsmouth man, pulling it back. Hamer's scuffed the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, is easily side-footed clear by Enzo Fernandez, who then gets a return ball in the midfield, tries to fashion a pass with the outside of the right boot for Garnacho's run. Lincoln win it back, but Harto can mop up and go back for his goalkeeper. We'll go to Craven Cottage, Fulham, Cambridge. Ian Abrahams.
Fulham 0, Cambridge 0. We played for about 7 minutes, and so far Fulham have had a couple of speculative efforts, a header by Raul Jimenez that was saved, and 1-2 by Kevin, but it's still Fulham 0, Cambridge 0.
And to Turf Moor, Burnley Cardiff, Matt Jones.
It's still Burnley 0, Cardiff 0 here, but Cardiff have started the better and had the only chance so far. A surging run forward by Robinson. He was given space on the edge of the area to shoot, but dragged his shot just wide. Burnley 0, Cardiff 0.
Another ball inside the Chelsea penalty area, looking for Draper, and then a stumble by Gusto. Draper goes down. Truth be told, he's just fallen over Malo Gusto inside the penalty area. I mean, Gusto doing nothing, having slipped to try and get out of Draper's way. And Chelsea might consider that they've gone away with another one. No VAR, remember.
I think he's a little lucky there, Malo Gusto. He slipped, so the ball got away from him. Draper's after the ball, and then Draper ends up sort of trying to step over Gusto. There's a bit of contact, down he goes, but Malo Gusto there is trying to shield the ball, trying to protect it. Freddie Draper pressurising, he slips the Chelsea fullback, and they just about get away with that.
Chelsea work the ball forward towards Buonanotte. That might be his first touch of the night. Gusto back into his path. Buonanotte beautifully just drops the shoulder and turns in the midfield. Angles one out towards Garnacho with the bleached hair, wearing 49 for Chelsea. And he's been brought down by Tenderikwa over on the far touchline to give Chelsea their first free kick.
Yeah, the ball was actually angled out from Buonanotte, 10 yards into Lincoln's half. Out to Garnacho, who's got his feet on the touchline on the left-hand side. Takes it on his chest. Derikwa straight out to front him up to test that first touch. Makes the challenge. Garnacho spins on the floor. Gets the free kick. Derikwa felt he was a little bit hard done by there, but nonetheless, Chelsea have a free kick. First chance they've got actually now, Jim. How many minutes are we in?
13.
13 in. First chance Chelsea have got to actually put something into the box.
So 13 gone and 0-0. Lincoln hit the post inside the opening 3-4 minutes or so. What will Chelsea be able to do here? They've got everybody for. Garnacho's back on his feet, and he is at the moment unmarked in the D. Gittins waits on the edge of the penalty area. 5 in blue shirts inside that 18-yard box. Far too close to the goalkeeper. Really poor delivery, and it's very easily caught by Zach Gicott, former Birmingham City goalkeeper who did have limited experience in the Championship with Blues. Lincoln working it forward again. Too much on that ball for Hamer, who stretched out a left foot and couldn't bring it under control. Gusto runs round it and clears, and then another commanding header back by Sonny Bradley, but that's gone straight out of play. I mean, Bradley's 34. There's plenty of experience within this Lincoln side, but what an acquisition. He's been on a free transfer from Derby. He's played nearly 550 games in his career. He was in the Plymouth side that drew at Anfield in the FA Cup back in 2017. Derikwa, 33, playing on the right-hand side of the back five, so they've certainly got plenty of experience, players who won't be faced by the big occasion. And certainly, you look at this Lincoln side, none of them are faced. Here's Gusto, little flick from him. Far too intricate. Towler was able to knock it away, and then in behind him, it's further cleared by Hamer for a Chelsea throw.
I think that Chelsea front three, Gittins, Tyreek George and Garnacho, look, it's one of those nights, not going to be perfect service in to you. It's not going to be as you want it absolutely every time. You've got to make something of it. You've got to try and get there first, get hold of it, wait for support, drop it off, get yourself in the box. But sort of pressure Lincoln are applying here is difficult for the Chelsea boys in the back and midfield to provide that sort of service that they really want. Can't always be brilliant.
Buonanotte was just down for about 15-20 seconds, feeling the small of his back with his right hand. He's back on his feet and able to continue. Player on loan from Brighton. All going back to Fofana. Fofana and Chalobah keeping their places in the Chelsea side that was beaten at Manchester United on Saturday. Now they go back for Jurgensen, who played the vast majority of that game. It's difficult for a goalkeeper coming on as a substitute, but especially that early in the match. Now Garnacho fouled again. There's a boo from the Lincoln fans over on the far touchline every time the ball goes in his direction. Just trying to get in his head, I think, but he was clearly caught. It's a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, he was caught there. And look, again, you expect that in these cup matches. I think that the home fans, we spoke with Adrian about the sort of atmosphere we've got in here tonight. It really is lively, it's buoyant, and the home fans are enjoying the way that their team have started. So for Chelsea, just got to make sure that they eliminate risk, and as I mentioned earlier, serve it forward every now and again. If you've got nowhere to go, nothing wrong with putting it in behind Lincoln.
Enzo Fernandez plays it down to the Chelsea right hand side for Chalobah. Ball from him in towards Andres Santos, making his first Chelsea start of the season. Now comes down towards the Chelsea right for Giddins, who has done well to keep that in, but Lincoln have won it back, and then a free kick goes against them. Bartholomew, the player that is judged to have lent into his man. We'll go to Molineux. Wolves against Everton. What's happened in the early stages there? Jeff Peters.
It's Wolves 0, Everton 0. Everton just letting Wolves knock the ball around and watch them do nothing with it, and then perhaps pounce on the counter. 9 changes and 7 changes. Not much rhythm here. Wolves 0, Everton 0.
Jeff, thank you. To the racecourse as well. Wrexham Reading, Adam Bridge.
Wrexham 0, Reading 0, Reading 0, and at the moment it's the League One side who are on top. 4 shots on goal so far, but they've only forced Callum Burton into 1 save so far. Wrexham 0, Reading 0.
Wrexham looking for a win that would take them through to the 4th round for the first time in 48 years. Lincoln have only been there twice before. Here's Garnacho, and he's fallen over under pressure on the left-hand side of the penalty area. And Monsma, the Dutchman, who's hardly played this season for Lincoln, just stood firm, dealt with the threat and whacks it away out of play for a throw.
Yeah, too flimsy, Garnacho, whenever he's had the ball at his feet so far. Happy to go over. Stay on your feet. He's a menace, Garnacho, when he stays on his feet, runs at you, and when the tackles are coming in, he's able to ride them, and he's prepared to put up with that and front that up. If he keeps hitting the floor, eventually he's going to get disappointed. He's not going to get the free kicks.
He's playing the 150th game of his club career tonight. Alejandro Garnacho's got a really good record in this competition. 4 goals in his last 5 League Cup ties. And he's been the boo boy tonight on his first start for Chelsea. Chalobah at the back for the Blues, launching it forward. Hamer comes across, sweeps up and knocks it away. Chelsea getting a foothold in the game now after that torrid start. Ball in from Gittins from the right, looking for Garnacho on the left. Lincoln appeals for an offside flag, fall on deaf ears, and Gittins has stayed strong to win it back from Draper. Now the ball goes out to the Chelsea left, flicked in, Gittins making the run round the back. He got his right foot underneath it. He beat G-Cop, but he couldn't keep the effort down. He goes over the bar. Chelsea's best chance.
It is their best chance. Nice ball from Enzo. Centre of the field, right in the middle of the park, really, about 40 yards out, picks his head up, just sees that run from Gittins, who runs diagonally off the right side in towards the corner of the 6-yard box. The ball finds him, but he has to pick it up on the half volley. Can't quite keep it down, really, but it's a better little spell of possession from Chelsea, once or twice, whipping it out to Garnacho, this time out to Gittins on the right.
19 gone, 0-0 here on Talksport. Those are the thoughts of the former Chelsea captain Andy Townsend. It's the first meeting of these two clubs for 114 years. Lincoln's only ever win against Chelsea was an FA Cup first round replay here back in 1907. Lincoln won it, and Chelsea nicked their manager as a result of that. Dave Calderhead, who then went on, having had a really good spell here in the early days of the 20th century, to have a very good one at Chelsea as well. In the early days of the club, Chelsea only formed about 2-3 years before that. Ball inside the area here from Gusto. G-Cop got down and knocked it away. It didn't quite fall for Garnacho. Lincoln whack it long again, unashamedly so. Fofana is able to play the ball into Rob Street, the former Palace man. And Street got out of the way of it, so he's just siphoned it straight into the dugout. And that will allow Hamer another opportunity to launch a long throw inside that Chelsea box. Brighton leading at Barnsley 1-0, 0-0 everywhere else, including over on Talksport 2. They're underway 4 minutes in at Anfield. Liverpool against Southampton, as we bring you a choice of live listening again on the Talksport network tonight. But this one somehow still goalless.
Yeah, it's been a good start. It's been a bright start. I think we all thought that this was going to be a really competitive game. And we've certainly got that. Lincoln have set about Chelsea. That early 6 or 7 minutes really went after them.
Towler with a long ball for. There's a collision inside the box. Monsma back on his feet. No penalty given. Another ball inside that penalty area, and Andre Santos heads that one away. It's an opportunity here for Giddins to play the ball down the line. He's turned back inside on what is his League Cup debut. And to find Enzo Fernandez. Now Tyreek George dropping that little bit deeper. Able to pick up possession. He's got 30 first-team games for Chelsea behind him now, though he hasn't started many. Gusto plays it back to the centre spot for Fana. Down to Jorel Harto, the Dutchman, playing on the left-hand side of Chelsea's back four tonight. It's his third appearance since signing from Ajax, where he's the Eredivisie Player of the Year last year. Chelsea maintaining possession neatly, going down towards Giddins. That early Lincoln storm has just blown itself out a little over the last 5-6 minutes, but then crossfield ball from Chalobah was a really poor one. Street intercepted it. Andre Santos brought him down, and he gets a yellow card.
Yeah, that's a poor ball actually from Trevor Chalobah. Usually always so consistent and so reliable. Tries to play a square ball there right across the halfway line. Gives it straight to Rob Street. Andre Santos just nips him from behind, gets the yellow card.
And another goal at Oakwell for Mark Wilson.
It's Barnsley 0, Brighton 2, and it's Diego Gomez with his second. It's an absolute screamer. Brighton got the ball on halfway, played it forward. Gomez 25 yards out. It's a rising shot. It was still going up when it went past Cooper. Barnsley 0, Brighton 2.
Well, Brighton haven't got to the quarterfinals of this competition for 47 years. But they're just one tie away, providing they hold on at Barnsley tonight. Gomez, their leading scorer this season, now up to 3. And they're still the only League Cup goals of the night so far. Barnsley 0, Brighton 2 here on Talksport. Tomorrow night, incidentally, Arsenal go to Port Vale, another intriguing tie that we will bring you here on Talksport.
Another chance, sorry Jim, another chance here for that Tom Hamer long throw, this time from a better angle, level with the 18-yard line. Again, everyone's stacking up right under that near post.
Yep, this one definitely going to come in long towards the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked on by Street, and then just nicked away at the far post to stop it falling for one of the Lincoln players that was coming in on the far side. It was Ben House, couldn't quite get there, and it's drifted through and out of play. House played on the left wing at the weekend, and the intelligence was that he was going to be playing there again tonight. He's actually started on the right-hand side of a 3-man midfield with Street and Draper up front in a 5-3-2. He had an excellent game, Ben House, at the weekend. Got a couple of goals in that match against Lincoln. Also scored the winner in round 2 at Burton for Lincoln. Just the one defeat for them so far this season. That came at Wimbledon. They have scored in all 10 games since. They've got a pretty good defensive record as well. They've got another throw here. Derikwa has actually played and scored against Chelsea in the third round of the League Cup before. Back in his Nottingham Forest days, he's left the ball. Hamer, who has been very heavily employed in these early stages, he's already going to be having shoulder ache. He's launched a good few of these in, but here's another one that is going to be coming in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. A long throw from that little bit deeper. It's probably 27, 28 yards from the corner flag this one.
He's pinching a few yards every time. The referee's just keeping an eye on everybody at the near post, all the pushing and shoving. Whilst that's going on, Tom Hamer has almost walked himself level with the 18-yard box. The throw, I was going to say, the referee is now pulling him up on it. The throw should be a long way back, almost midway in Chelsea half. This throw should be coming in from.
And then eventually he goes short, back towards Derikwa. Now it goes out towards Hamer. Hamer with a little ball round the corner. Bartholomew with an opportunity to get it in. And Jurgensen just had to pat it down at the near post. Came to him about 4.5, 5 feet off the ground. He just flicked it into the turf, picked it up at the second attempt. Sharp handling to make sure that he got there ahead of Street. And Chelsea get it out towards Garnacho again. So Brighton leading 2-0 at Barnsley. It's 0-0 everywhere else. At Burnley, at Fulham, at Liverpool, at Wigan, at Wolves and Wrexham, and here at Lincoln as well. Fofana controlling the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Chelsea have got a really good record against lower division teams in this competition. I mean, you remember the FA Cup defeat they had when they went on to win the title back in 2015, but they were 2-0 up and ended up losing at home to Bradford in an FA Cup tie some 11 years ago. But in this competition, they've not lost to any lower division side for 29 years, which is a very impressive run. Bolton, the last ones to beat them, back at Burnden Park in the 96-97 season. Here's Garnacho going forward through the midfield. Little give and go with Gusto. Garnacho taking it on again. Found himself an inside right for a moment. And he had Huntsman going every step of the way with him. Towler, I beg your pardon, eventually just lent into him a little bit overzealously. And the free kick has gone Chelsea's way.
Yeah, chance now for Chelsea to get the ball down, which they have done, taking a short free kick, gone backwards towards the halfway line. Just at that one moment when Enzo had a chance to pick out the run of Gittins, very nearly found him towards the back post. At that aside, Chelsea haven't had too much yet.
Here's Gittins again with a couple of step overs, trying to get the better of Hamer inside the box. Hamer standing his ground. Gittins able to stand up the ball towards the far post, but nobody had stayed out there. Garnacho made a run into a more central position. Enzo had gambled as well. Chelsea able to maintain possession. They've recycled it, but have had to go deeper. Now it goes back out towards Gittins again on this near touchline, the Chelsea right. It's 0-0. 27 minutes have flown by. We're going to have 3 or 4 added minutes at the end of the first half, I would imagine, already. Fofana. Go back around the grounds in a moment here on Talksport. Back towards Gittins. Gittins to Chalobah. Chalobah back towards halfway for Fofana. Chalobah has it again. Poke forward towards Malo Gusto. Gusto playing as an inverted fullback off the right-hand side, frequently finding himself in the centre of midfield. Gittins, little give and go with him, with Tyreek George. Lincoln can smuggle it back to their goalkeeper. Well, you know that Brighton are 2 up at Barnsley. What's been going on at Turf Moor? Matt Jones.
Well, it's still Burnley 0, Cardiff 0 here, though Burnley beginning to get a bit more into the game. Ugachukwu burst forward and had a shot saved by Trott. Other than that, both teams cancelling themselves out. Burnley 0, Cardiff 0.
And to the Cottage, Fulham against Cambridge, Ian Abrahams.
Where it's still Fulham 0, Cambridge 0. Fulham, Cambridge almost scored. Fulham's play has been very cumbersome tonight. Cambridge, largely defensive, have looked good on the counter. Lavery nearly scored. Fulham 0, Cambridge 0.
And Lincoln with another corner here on the right-hand side. It's a good ball played down the right-hand side. Ben House just able to flick it off the nearest Chelsea defender. And Bartholomew is going to go out to take it.
And what Lincoln have got to try and do is just anticipate that second ball. With these long throws and the corners that are going to be repeatedly coming in under that Chelsea crossbar, you've got to gamble. Someone's got to try and just anticipate where that ball is going to drop.
So in comes the corner, swept towards the penalty spot. Heads go up, Bradley nodding it into the ground, but just wide. He's got a really good record from set pieces. He scored the centre-half in 3 of the last 4 games, and he was unmarked there.
He should score there. He should hit the target, and I think if he does, it goes in. And I couldn't believe that. Sonny Bradley there, nobody marking him. He's the biggest guy on the field.
Chelsea bringing the ball forward, and another free kick is given their way. Let's go to Molineux. Jeff Peters.
It's Wolves 1, Everton 0. Marshall Manetzi has scored it from about 6-7 yards out after the goalkeeper Travers had made a terrific save. Manetzi scores. Wolves 1, Everton 0.
And to Wrexham, Adam Bridge.
Wrexham 0, Reading 0. Shot count even now, though. Wrexham more in the game through some set pieces. One that was dropped by Stevens, but Smith and Doyle couldn't quite force it home. Wrexham 0, Reading 0.
Couple of games in the Premiership tonight, and Hibs third in the table, lead at Falkirk with a Martin Boyle penalty. It's his 4th goal of the season. Played half an hour here at Lincoln at ER Stadium at St Kilbank 0-0. Enzo Fernandez bringing it forward. Garnacho offside as he made the run down the inside left channel. Andy Townsend caught it immediately to my right hand side, just sticking his hand up, and the assistant referee Matthew Smith was not too far behind him.
Better run though from Garnacho, a run in behind. At the moment Chelsea pretty much everything apart from that Enzo ball that found Gittins 10 minutes ago. pretty much everything in front of Lincoln. And that's always easier to defend, particularly for a team a couple of divisions below. So when you start making runs in between centre halves and in behind, in towards those areas, that's when it becomes a little trickier to deal with. That's a better run from Garnacho.
Still 0-0 though. Lincoln with another good flick on out towards the right-hand side, and another corner as a result of that. Well won by House. And these are the kinds of situations that they're playing for. Unashamedly expert from set piece. I think they scored 30 goals from set pieces last season.
Let's have a look here, Jim, on this corner. See who actually picks up Sonny Bradley. Look, a lot of the Chelsea guys, as you can imagine, zoning. I could see Chalobah, Gusto along that 6-yard line, along with Fofana. Bradley is in and around the penalty spot with those other Chelsea players who are just there to try and block runs. But someone's got to pick him up. He's a giant of a man. It's an out-swinging corner.
And again, he's got a free run here because they've got 2 blockers on it. The ball is too deep for Bradley. Goes in towards the far post, headed back in by Hamer. Oh, goalkeeper has made a right mess of that. Punching it into one of his teammates. Comes back in from the left-hand side from the Grandals. Headed back across the face of goal. And Fofana gets it to the relative sanctuary of down by the corner flag.
Wow. You're absolutely right, Jim. Jorgensen came out with a fist there to punch away and just flapped at it. Scuffed it completely with his fist, popped it straight back up in the air, and then it dropped, and you're thinking a red and white shirt is just going to poke it over the line. Chelsea somehow scramble it away.
Hamer is going to be taking another one of these long throws. Cardiff lead at Burnley, details in a moment. Hamer with the throws, actually gone back for Darikwa, gets it back again, Hamer. Ball curved inside the penalty area. Chalobah volleys it away. Who scored that goal for Cardiff, Matt?
Well, it's come from Joel Colwill to make it Burnley 0, Cardiff 1, and G punts the ball back into the box. It's flicked on and then put across the goalkeeper to the back post where Colwill can stab it into an empty net. Cardiff, the League One side ahead. Burnley 0, Cardiff 1.
Buonanotte trying to bring the ball forward. Lincoln, the League One side here, will be disappointed they're not ahead as well. Buonanotte has gone down and has stayed down, and the referee does now stop play. And the physio is going to be called on, so Buonanotte's going to have to go off for the obligatory 30 seconds. Enzo Fernandez helps him back to his feet and says to Buonanotte, you don't need any treatment, because if he receives it, he's got to go off. The problem is the referee has stopped proceedings so that he can receive the treatment, so he's got to go off for the 30 seconds anyway.
But he's hit the floor, I think, again, in all fairness there, just to try and stop the game. He's back up on his feet, didn't want to go off in the end, didn't want treatment, as you say, because the referee stops the game. All of a sudden, Buonanotte's had to come over to the touchline, where literally he's just going to get a couple of words in his ear, maybe from the coach or one of the coaching staff, and he's going to be straight back out there.
Well, we know that there's going to be at least one League One side in the 4th round of this competition. 2 of them are playing each other tonight, and Wickham lead at Wigan at the Brick Community Stadium. Keelan Boyd Muntz with his first of the season, and Wickham, who've had a torrid start, changed the manager. Mike Duff now in charge, and they lead at Wigan by a goal to 0. One League One side who I don't think will be making it through to round 4 is Barnsley. Mark Wilson.
Barnsley 0, Brighton 3. Diego Gomez has just wrapped up a hat-trick. His second goal was special. This was even better. It's fallen to him 35 yards out. He's hit it on the volley, and it has gone straight in the top corner. Unbelievable goal. Unbelievable hat-trick. Barnsley 0, Brighton 3.
24-minute hat-trick there for Diego Gomez. And Brighton 3 up at Barnsley. So elsewhere, Wickham leading at Wigan, Wolves 1, Everton 0, Cardiff a goal up at Burnley, 0-0 live over on Talksport 2 between Liverpool and Southampton. And goalless at Fulham, at Wrexham, and here in Lincoln. But home side hit the inside of the post, inside the very early stages of the game with Monsma, the Dutch centre-half. And they've asked the better questions pretty much throughout. Bradley probably should have scored as well. 0-0, I beg your pardon, with 10 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, been an impressive start to the game from Lincoln. Just watching Enzo Maresca there, I can see he's gesturing with his hand, sort of pointing in behind the Lincoln back line. I think he's telling his boys, let's turn them around a little bit. As I said, they're inviting challenges, they're inviting pressure by playing short, playing narrow. play them at their own game a little bit. Start going in behind them. We'll see how effective Sonny Bradley and Co and those guys at the back are if they're chasing back towards their own goal, but they haven't had to do it yet.
Santos with the ball in the midfield. He had a loan spell at Forest last season. Forest in action tomorrow away at Real Betis in the Europa League, and that is over on Talksport 2, kicking off at 8. Here's Fernandes trying to work it forward for Chelsea. Live game on Talksport tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier. Arsenal going to Port Vale, build-up starting at 7 and kick-off at 8 in both of the games tomorrow night here on the Talksport network. Enzo Fernandez has got it again. I'll tell you what else is coming up tomorrow. Boris Becker on breakfast.
Is he? Great.
He is indeed, which will be tremendous. He's with Alan Brazil, Ali McCoist. Those two and Boris Becker. What a three-ball that is for you tomorrow morning.
Just Boris don't need to go out with the pair of them after, does he really?
Well, I would suggest that they don't need to go out with him either. But the ball is played back towards halfway, all looking covered. The ball is Boris Becker apparently no longer on the sports breakfast tomorrow morning. Someone said something that upset him. The ball is in the midfield. Chelsea have got it. And it's played forward towards Chalobah. Down towards Garnacho. Garnacho here in Lincoln, 0-0. Garnacho just running into Hamer. Play goes on. Ball back with Gusto. Now towards Harto. Chelsea work it back inside their own half. Very briefly Fofana, and then Chalobah poking it forward. Gusto with a really nice little clever flick round the corner. Garnacho made a run. He's gone out to the right now with Giddins moving out to the left. Gusto stays down. Play allowed to continue. And Lincoln whack it forward, and Street has made a really good run. Seems second favourite against Chalobah, but he got there first. And then across comes Fofana, and he can flick it into Draper. And straight out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Chelsea right. Still 0-0, 7.5 to go to half-time. Another goal in Burnley, Matt Jones.
Yeah, and it's gone to Cardiff again. Burnley 0, Cardiff 2. Some lovely football in the middle of the field from Cardiff. They then work it out to the left-hand side of the box. It's played to Robinson in the middle, and he converts from close range. Cardiff haven't reached the 4th round since 2011-12. That year they went on to the final. Burnley 0, Cardiff 2.
Yeah, they've had a great start this season. First defeat in 11 at the weekend, at home to Bradford, and 2 up away at Burnley in the League Cup tonight. Here's Gusto. Ball worked across the edge of his own penalty area. Harto's got plenty of time to control it. Fernandes. Now to Fofana, back for Chalobah. It'll be interesting to see the breakdown in possession in 10-minute periods, because Lincoln had so much of the ball.
They did
in the opening 15,
correct.
20.
Yes.
Now it is Chelsea who are well on top.
Well, Chelsea have got a bit more control possession without really doing anything with the ball at the moment. Certainly they're having a few more touches in the middle of the park, but they can't really find Tyreek George in particular, or even get Garnacho one-on-one. Chance here.
Garnacho's got it again. Bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. His cross hits Hamer, knocked him off his feet. Garnacho with a second bite of the cherry. Lays it back for Gusto, who can't hide his dismay at his inability to put a decent ball in. It was too low. Lincoln clear. Whenever they do clear, there's always an option for them on the counter-attack with a long ball forward. They tried to release House, but couldn't get the pass right, and Chelsea win it back on halfway.
Yeah, Wesley Fofana is very quick. That ball there, as you say, Jim, intended for House, for him to maybe counter quickly, but Fofana stepped across that halfway line, got there first and comfortably mopped that up.
Garnacho. Oh, very cleverly done by Buonanotte. He's been fouled. Play goes on. Tyreek George has got it. Played out towards Gittins. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Back to George. George for Enzo Fernandez. Couldn't get the ball out from underneath his feet. Can still poke it forward. Might get another opportunity. He's gone down. Referee Donahue has a look. Says no penalty. Remember, no VAR. I think that decision was correct. Certainly judging by the reaction of the Chelsea players. No real complaints. But Giddins has got it again inside the box and hits the side netting from a tight angle.
Better though. There you get a wide man. Pick the ball up. He actually had nowhere to go there, Giddins, when he first received it. But you know what? Very quickly stepped to one side. Just evaded those red and white shirts coming in to close him down. Drove into the box and hits a really powerful strike. Unfortunately for him, it hits the side netting, but that's better. That's better. Again, if Chelsea dwell on the ball, Lincoln are going to be swarming in and around them, all over them, and they're not afraid to put their foot in. They are a physical team as well as a very competitive one. So Chelsea, when they get the chance in the wide areas, the likes of Gittins and certainly Garnacho have got to make more of it.
Now House on the Lincoln right, poked forward for Street. The flag's up against him. Just looked as though he'd been able to hold his run. Rob Street to stay onside, he couldn't quite. Free kick to Chelsea. Lincoln did knock a Premier League side out a couple of years ago. They won at Sheffield United on penalties, but they've lost each of the last 4 matches here against Premier League opposition, including a 7-2 defeat, you might remember, against Liverpool. Ball played in here, Street, 1-0. Lincoln lead against the world champions. That little bit of quality from Street as the ball flashed across the edge of the penalty area, and Draper was sharp, could get ahead to it, knot it down. They've turned over possession, and Street took a touch, fires it into the bottom right-hand corner. Sincil Bank erupts. It is no more than they deserve. They've been the better side. They've hit the woodwork. Now they've hit the net. And Enzo Maresca's big spending Chelsea trail at Lincoln City.
Yeah, and nobody can deny the lead that they have. I think they've been really, really good so far. Chelsea there trying to play across their own 18-yard box. A square ball that's never finding its target. It gets cut out and it's very, very comfortably slotted into the back of the net to give Lincoln the lead, and it's one that they deserve.
Rob Street, only his 3rd goal for the club. They sent him out on loan to Doncaster last season, where he had a glut of goals in the second half of the campaign, helped Donny win the League 2 title, and seems just to have got his career back on track. Been a much more integral figure for Lincoln this season, and he scored the goal that sees Lincoln lead Chelsea by a goal to nil. The shock is on.
Yeah, and I tell you, I wonder now whether Enzo Maresca would be thinking at half-time about Moises Caicedo. More than any other player, they need someone who's very, very competitive and will also put his foot in when required. He probably won't want to do that, I understand that, but tell you what, you don't want to go 2 down here tonight. You don't want to concede another one, and it can happen. These long throw-ins, those corners that have been raining in under Jorgensen's crossbar, they could be really difficult to handle, but Chelsea there, architects of their own downfall, playing across the 18-yard box, really well nodded down by Draper, and a lovely finish from Street.
They just never give you any rest, this Lincoln team. And Bradley has done well to push forward from the back line and turn over possession on halfway there. Now Chelsea, though, can work it out towards the right-hand side for Alejandro Garnacho. He'll come towards the bottom corner of the penalty area. He's laid it square across the edge of the box. Hato for Enzo Fernandez. Right-footed ball in from him. Gusto made a really good run forward. There wasn't enough height on the cross, and it's clear. Lincoln 1, Chelsea 0. And is it going to be their first League Cup defeat to lower division opposition for 29 years? Long way to go yet. Ball cleared by Monsman.
Yeah, no need for Chelsea to panic, but they've got to do more. They've got to play more. The only people who have had comfortable possession in a Chelsea shirt are Fofana and Chalobah at the back, rolling it to each other. When it goes into midfield, there's usually red and white shirts pressurising the ball, trying to get a foot in. Service into the front men has been ordinary, and so it's got to improve. Now, he does have reinforcements on the bench, Enzo Maresca, certainly. He's got boys on the bench with more pedigree than some of those out there that have started, but Lincoln have been full value for their lead so far.
Here's Gusto, and he's just won Chelsea's first corner of the night. It wasn't his intention. He was trying to play the ball in towards the far post, but Bartholomew came back, nodded it away, and it's gone out for a corner on the Chelsea right. We're just about to go into first half stoppage time. 3 minutes, I'm expecting. And this is Chelsea's first corner. The Imps themselves have had 3. There's confirmation of the 3 additional minutes. So corner on the Chelsea right. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery, and not a bad ball, but well headed away. And you would imagine that Lincoln, with so much potency from set pieces at one end, are going to be able to deal with that kind of threat at the other. Buonanotte, though, he's trying to get through around the edge of the penalty area. Now, the ball might have been overhit for him, but it did look as though he was wrestled to the ground there by Riley Towler. The referee says, play on, goal kick.
Yeah, I think he's run under the ball there, Buonanotte. Certainly, Towler's got to be a little bit careful when he's tracking that run. Buonanotte went down in the box, but the ball was always beating him. He was never getting on the end of that.
Jamie McGrath's given Hibs a 2-0 lead at Falkirk, only for Ross McIver to pull one back straight away. So it's Falkirk 1, Hibs 2 in the first half stoppage time there in the Premiership. Lincoln leading by a goal to 0. Brighton 3 up at Barnsley. Cardiff of League 1, 2 up at Burnley. Wickham leading at Wigan 1-0. So as things stand right now, going to have 3 League 1 teams in the last 16 of this competition. The draw made tomorrow, and first news of it on Talksport. We've already got Brentford, Palace, Swansea and Grimsby of League 2 through from the ties that were played last week. Oh, Jurgensen almost caught in possession inside his own 6-yard box. He dillied and dallied, and McGrandles put the pressure on. Bartholomew nearly able to nick it off him.
Wow. I mean, in the end, he actually did well there, Jurgensen, but he twisted and turned with the ball at his feet in his 6-yard box with 2 red and white shirts bearing down on him. Again, get to half-time. All right, 1 down, not ideal, not playing great, but chance for Enzo Maresca to sort a few things out.
And he needs a bit of sorting.
Be interesting if he's reluctant, Jim, on the substitution-wise, whether to make any because of what happened at the weekend. Because of probably feeling like that he made maybe 1 or 2 that he shouldn't have, or a couple of decisions he got wrong in that respect. We'll see. But if I was him at half-time, I'd definitely have Caicedo on. Andre Santos can't do anything to affect the game so far.
Another long throw, a little bit too much height on that one as it comes in. Didn't get the distance as a result of that. Gusto heads it away. And then can bring the ball under control on the right-hand touchline. Turns inside away from Freddie Draper, who scored in the round 1 win at Harrogate. Enzo Fernandez is lost out to House. Well, the referee is giving him the benefit of the doubt, and the World Cup winner wins a free kick in the heart of midfield for Chelsea.
He's a little fortunate, I've got to say. Just under pressure from Draper.
Half the job is done by Michael Scabala's Lincoln. They lead world champions Chelsea with a Rob Street goal on 42 minutes. A monumental shock on the cards here in Lincolnshire tonight. Lincoln 1, Chelsea 0 at half-time.
This is insane. The world champions are losing 1-0 to a side third in the third tier of English football, and Chelsea have only got themselves to blame. Let's have a look at that goal, Andy Townsend, because it's Enzo Fernandez, World Cup winner, over in a left-back position, launches the ball across his own penalty area towards Trevor Chalobah. It doesn't reach him. Lincoln player nicks in. Rob Street is clean through, one-on-one, buries it. It's ludicrous from Chelsea.
Well, look, it's just really, really poor and totally unnecessary. And you don't want to invite any heat from this team. They're going to give it to you. They're going to come after you. They are swarming all over you. Now, again, that can change in the second half because you know that teams will tire after an hour or so. It's not easy to keep getting close and keep rattling people. So Lincoln are going to suffer in that respect. But what you don't do is encourage them. Chelsea are encouraging this Lincoln team to get in and around them and get their foot in and make life difficult. They're going over far too easy. Garnacho's been guilty of it 2 or 3 times. Others likewise, getting tapped on the ankle, rolling around on the floor. Get up, you're in a cup tie, and you need to start waking up and understanding that it's a different game to what you play at the weekend. This one is all about going toe-to-toe with someone who's really hungry to get in and around you. If you're not up for the fight, you're going to get done.
Absolutely spot on. And let's talk about up the other end, because Garnacho and Gittins, Garnacho started on the left, switched over to the right, Gittins went over the other side. They're on this right-hand side, started with Gittins, Garnacho's gone on the right-hand side. They're up against Tom Hamer, who is not a left-back. I repeat, I've spoken to one of his former managers earlier who says he's either a centre-back or a right-back. He's not a left-back. Now, do these guys, does Gittins know, does Garnacho know, do they know that he's not actually a left back, because if they know he's not a left back, surely they will be going at him time after time after time.
Taking him on, absolutely, trying to get beyond him, get round him. Look, all I know about Tom Hamer from what I've seen in the first half is he's a very competitive boy. He's got an unbelievable long throw, but I wouldn't know what he's like defensively, because no one's had a go at him yet. No one's had to try to take him on, back him up towards the box, because everything Chelsea are doing is slow, a bit predictable, all in front of Lincoln. And I'm telling you, if they're not careful here, this is going to be a long night for them, because this team look like they really know what they're doing, and they're throwing themselves at it. They're committed to it. Chelsea need to wake up quickly.
Absolutely spot on. And the tone was set, wasn't it? In that first 90 seconds, there was an up and under from kick-off. They hit the post. Those long throws that we talked about pre-game were coming in from Hamer. Lincoln really let Chelsea know. I don't think Chelsea actually recovered from that first 90 seconds.
It was incredible, wasn't it? I don't think I've ever seen a team with the kick-off, the ball is knocked back to a player who tees it up for himself and hits it straight up in the air like an Eddie Waring up and under. It was one of them. And literally, Chelsea headed it out, throwing, coming straight in under the bar, people piling in there after it. And that just set the tone, didn't it, for that first 10 minutes where Chelsea really could hardly breathe. They just couldn't get out. Now, as I mentioned, that you can't just have the ball and think you can take the sting out of a night like tonight by rolling it around for 5 minutes. It doesn't work like that. You've got to hurt Lincoln. You've got to try and get at them. You've got to isolate. You've got to switch the play, and you've got to whip that ball out to those wide men and get them 1v1, backing people up into the box, making something happen, frightening them, which is what they should be doing. They're doing everything in front of Lincoln, and they're encouraging them to come after them, and they're doing it brilliantly.
And Chelsea are losing. Lincoln 1, Chelsea 0. And a quick word on the Chelsea keeper. I know there's a lot of Chelsea fans who are not big fans of Robert Sanchez. Well, the other fella's no good either.
Well, he's flapped at a couple, but you know what? The delivery from corners, and particularly those long throws at times, has been really, really dangerous and really difficult to deal with. He's flapped at one or two. He's got his hands on a couple of decent stops, but he needs help back there.
He does. Lincoln lead Chelsea by a goal to 0. It's a big half-time for Enzo Maresca. Let's go round the grounds. Half-time at Molineux in the Carabao Cup third round. Jeff Peters.
It's Wolves 1, Everton 0. Not exactly box office excitement from two much changed sides, but Wolves won't mind given their recent problems. They got their noses in front, but unlike on Saturday against Leeds, they didn't sit back afterwards. Marshal Manetzi scored here against Everton in the Premier League in March. He gave Wolves the lead on the half hour. Mark Travers made a fine save from an Arias volley, and Manetzi, back post, quickest to react to the rebound and thump home. Everton's best chance fell to Michael Keane. His close-range header from a long throw was tipped over by Sam Johnston. Some of their big hitters might need to come off the bench. Wolves 1, Everton 0.
What about Craven Cottage? Here's Talksport Ian Abrams.
Fulham 0, League 2 Cambridge 0, and actually it's League 2 Cambridge who very nearly scored through Shane Lavery midway through the half. First shot blocked, his second just went wide of the far post. Fulham's problem is simple. They are playing far too slow. Their build-up play is so slow. Cambridge are able to get everybody back behind the ball. Consequently, Eastwood has barely had a save to make. Cambridge will be delighted the way this is going so far. Half-time, Fulham 0, League 2 Cambridge 0.
I've just seen Diego Gomez's hat-trick goal for Brighton. It is out of this world. I think they're going through at Oakwell, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, I think they are. Barnsley 0, Brighton 3, a half dominated by the Paraguayan international Diego Gomez. He tapped in after good work from Tommy Conway on 9 minutes. Down the left, squared it. There was Gomez to tap in. He got a second on 21 minutes. The ball initially played for Danny Welbeck. He miscontrolled it. Diego Gomez, 25 yards out, just sprinted to it and struck it first time. It was still rising as it went into the roof of the net. That was 2-0, but that was only an appetizer for what to come on 33. Long ball played forward. It was chested down to Gomez, 35 yards out. He has run onto it and volleyed it straight past the keeper Cooper into the top corner. Two of the best strikes I've ever seen live. What a hat-trick for him. What a half for Brighton. Barnsley 0, Brighton 3.
Brighton never won a major trophy. Maybe this year is their year. Looks like it's not going to be Burnley's year. Turf Moor, Matt Jones.
No, there's a big shock on the cards here because it's Burnley 0, Cardiff 2 at the break, and it's nothing more than League One Cardiff deserved. They took the lead on the half-hour mark. Some lovely football with the ball eventually worked across the goalkeeper and to Joel Colwell, who only had to stab into an empty net. And then the second coming 5 minutes later, Robinson converting from close range after Cardiff did really well to keep the ball alive. And again, work it across the 6-yard box to Robinson, who just had to slide home. There have been a few chances at the other end. Breuer forcing a good save out of Trott, who also did really well to deny Fleming with his legs, but Cardiff are playing the better football and they look like they're heading through at the moment. Burnley 0, Cardiff 2.
And what about at Wrexham this evening, Adam Bridge?
Wrexham 0, Reading 0. 19 changes between these two sides, but it's the team that are 20th in League One that have had the better of it. The first save of the game came after a shot from Kelvin Habishaman that was well saved by Callum Burton. Then it hit the post courtesy of Kamari Doyle, and efforts from the edge of the box over from Savage, Doyle and Omani. Up the other end, free kick's the best option really for Wrexham. One was flapped out by Jack Stevens, but between Smith and Doyle they couldn't poke the ball home, and then across from Broadhead found Smith 8 yards out against his former side, but he headed straight into the arms of Jack Stevens. Half time here, Wrexham 0, Reading 0.
And let's give you the other scores in the League Cup tonight. Carabao Cup third round, Wigan 0, Wycombe 1. Keelan Boyd-Munce with the only goal in an all League One tie. And over on Talksport 2, heading up to half time from an 8 o'clock kickoff, Liverpool 0, Southampton 0 is the latest score. Liverpool not exactly dominating in terms of chances. Both have had 2 shots on target. National League very quickly. Altrincham 1, Forest Green Rovers 1, Brackley 1, Truro 0, Gateshead 0, Hartlepool 0, Rochdale 3, Solihull Moors 0. Rochdale looking to go back top. Woking 1, Sutton 0, York City 3, Carlisle United 0, and in the Scottish Premiership, Dundee United 1, Aberdeen 0, Falkirk 1, Hibs 2, both of those half-time. And in the Scottish Championship, Airdrie 0, St Johnstone 2, Dunfermline 0, Ayr United 1. Here at Lincoln, the League One side lead Chelsea by a goal to 0. Live on Talksport.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. 18+ gambleaware.org.
At Amazon, over 50% of deliveries now come with less packaging, or with no added packaging at all. It's a difference you'll notice on your doorstep, where you chat with friends, where your neighbour's daughter practices guitar, and where we deliver your new noise-cancelling headphones in the manufacturer's packaging. Ah, much better. Reduced packaging from Amazon. We're delivering change where it matters, on your doorstep. Based on 2024 UK and EU Amazon packaging data.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. 18+ gambleaware.org.
At Lidl, we value all the good that value brings. But what do you value? You value the quiet victory of a school run that glides without a hitch, the lunchbox negotiations. You value filling your boot, bringing everything and everyone to the table. You value your food, real food, fresh food, quality that speaks for itself. And so do we, giving you more to value at every step, every day. Lidl, more to value.
Have you seen the all-new iPhone 17 Pro? Designed from the inside out, it's the most powerful iPhone yet, with the ultimate Pro camera system. What's more, at Vodafone, you can get the new iPhone now and every year with Vodafone Exchange. Go online or in-store today. Vodafone.
Credit check and terms apply. Trade in iPhone 17 series in good condition 12 months before phone plan ends and upgrade. Every year based on 24-month plan. See vodafone.co.uk/exchange.
With more markets on all of the action, Zackers and odds, whatever your passion. Build your own bet on a small local derby, and there's live in-play betting if you're late to the party. Sign up is easy on all your devices. Exclusive promotions and bet-boosted prices. In the no punters are sharing this tip. Get the king of the app pack. Talksport bet, it's a hit.
18+ gambleaware.org.
There's a Peugeot SUV for everyone and every need.
Sport for choice. I like it.
From the compact 2008, the stylish 3008, to the roomy new 5008.
Weekend adventures, here we come.
Now available on 0% APR with a minimum 20% deposit.
Sounds like a 100% match.
Book a test drive on Peugeot.co.uk. Offer ends 30th September 2025. Personal contract purchase subject to status and availability. T's and C's 18+. Excludes plug-in hybrids. Stellantis Financial Services.
Join Midnight Casino and discover a whole new world! With hot slots, jackpots, live casino roulette and blackjack at the ready. Come and play your way. Get 100 free spins when you spend £20 on eligible games. Search Midnight Casino or download the Midnight app today. Midnight. Casino done better. You decide. New customers only. Reward restrictions and T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
The Monopoly game at McDonald's is back. There's over £2 million worth of cash prizes to be won. And a chance to get your hands on some epic prizes. Go on. It's your go. 18+. UK. Ends 21st of October. Selected menu items. App may be required. May depend on winning moment. See mcdrules.co.uk.
Push the boat out, hon. All the way out to Alaska. Aldi's Wild Alaskan Sockeye Salmon Steak is defo bolder in colour and totes richer in flavour. This bougie beauty is a bit of me. Go all fancy with Aldi. Specially selected.
Whatever kind of football fan you are, Talksport and the Coral Daily Download are here for it to celebrate the fans every day. Whether you're a front row seater or a prawn sandwich eater, a half-and-half scarf wearer or a lifelong faithful torchbearer, a retro shirt for every game or bare-chested, even in the rain. For all the latest news, reaction and odds this season, don't miss the Coral Daily Download. Every morning from 6 on Talksport with Coral. We're here for the fans. 18+, gambleaware.org.
The football animal is alive. Kick-off live on Talksport.
Well, Chelsea back out for the second half, waiting for Lincoln. So let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Well, Lincoln 1-0 up to win in 90 minutes, 9-5. The draw is 21-10. The Chelsea win 29-20. Alejandro Garnacho to score next is 23-10. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Well, it looks like Chelsea been sent out early for being so terrible in the first half. Enzo Maresca and all his staff in their silver puff jackets on the touchline. He's just gone out onto the pitch to have a word with one of his players just to let him know what he needs in this second half from his Chelsea team. But we've had a look at the goal again, and it's an embarrassment for Chelsea.
It's a shocking goal. So it's that classic situation where Chelsea have got the ball. Two centre-halves have split the full width of the 18-yard box. So you've got Fofana on the left side, and you've got Chalobah right out here on the corner of the 18-yard box on the other side. And Enzo Fernandez, for some reason, gets the ball from Fofana from about 2 yards and then thinks he can switch it one pass straight out to Gusto. Pops it straight into Draper, who puts his head on it. Street is totally unmarked, and it's in the back of the net. So it's a really, really amateurish goal to concede.
It's Enzo Fernandez. He's a World Cup winner. He's a world champion at club level as well.
The ball he hits, Aid, is never getting there. It's not even nearly getting there. So easily intercepted. So Chelsea now are in a hole, and they've got to dig themselves out of it pretty quickly.
They have. Well, Chelsea were sent out early. They're ready to kick off second half as Lincoln make their way out, and these fans would love it if Lincoln can hold on to this, maybe even add to it. They dominated the first half. They lead at half-time as we prepare for the second half. Lincoln City 1, Chelsea 0. Live on Talksport with double League Cup winner Andy Townsend alongside your commentator on Talksport, Jim Proudfoot.
Now, Andy, you were alluding to substitutions and those that were made at Old Trafford on Saturday, late in that first half. Remember that he made 2 in the opening 5 minutes after Sanchez was sent off. Then Cole Palmer, he lost to injury, so he made 3 in the opening 20. You were expecting that he would make at least 1 at half-time tonight, but he hasn't. Is it a case of, you got us into this mess, go and get us out of it?
Yeah, a bit of that, which is, look, and again, for some of the younger players that aren't going to get the sort of minutes they'd like. So it's important for him to see the character of his players now, and it's a test, because Lincoln have been very, very good at what they've done and the pressure they've applied, and they've done it in a pretty relentless fashion. They've been really, really good.
Well, they absolutely flew out of the traps in the first half. Haven't been able to do that at the start of this second. That first 45 minutes, possession 76-24 in Chelsea's favour, but they didn't have a single shot on target, and Lincoln had 9 attempts to Chelsea's 3.
Well, all the threat. I mean, those numbers, Jim, if you hadn't seen the game and you're looking at those numbers, it would very much skew your thinking, because being in the stadium and sitting here, very much Lincoln had the best of it, no doubt about that. First thing I've just seen there, Chalobah clipping a ball in behind for Garnacho to try and run in behind Towler. Didn't quite get there, but again, I think the message would very much have been, look, we can't keep playing in front of this team and going nowhere. We've got to turn them round. We've got to become more of a threat.
So Lincoln leading Chelsea 1-0 here. Over on Talksport 2, Liverpool lead Southampton 1-0. Alexander Isak.
Oh, he's up running.
With his first goal for the club. Southampton, by all accounts, have played pretty well in that game. Missed an open goal and hit the crossbar, but it's Liverpool that lead 1-0, courtesy of that Isak goal just before half-time. Game that continues for you right now over on Talksport 2. Here, it's Lincoln 1, Chelsea 0. It is all ifs, buts and maybes, but would this be a bigger shock than Grimsby knocking Manchester United out? I think it might be.
It's similar. I mean, it's right up there. There's no danger. This Lincoln team are a handy. This was never an easy game on paper, this.
Chelsea bring the ball forward towards the edge of the box. George!
Oh, what a goal!
Stunning goal from Tyreek George. Chelsea are back on level terms just when their side needed something. A moment of utter magic from Tyreek George. He's 20 yards out, minimal backlift, and he has zipped one in off the post. It's Lincoln 1, Chelsea 1.
Well, how to get yourselves back in a game. You can either dominate the ball, get a bit of pressure, build a bit of momentum, or you can do something like Tyreek George has just done. Rattle one in from 20 plus yards on the half volley, always going away from G-Cock and giving him absolutely no chance. It's a blistering strike. It's a beautiful hit, and how his team needed that.
Well, it's only his 4th goal in 30 Chelsea games, but that just what Chelsea needed. A kind little kiss off the inside of the post, but it was a magnificent hit. So Monster in the early seconds of the first half has a shot hit the inside of the post and stay out. George has one in the early seconds of the second half, hit the inside of the post and go in. Certainly deserved it, such was the quality of the strike. So will that settle Chelsea nerves? How will Lincoln respond to that concession within 2.5 minutes of the restart? 1-1.
Well, look, what Chelsea have now got to do on the back of that thundering strike, I mean, that's some goal that is from Tyreek George. Fair play to him, he's hit that beautifully, he really has. Yes, it'll make Chelsea breathe a little bit easier, particularly the coach and everyone on the bench. But the players out there now, right back in the game, now get your foot to the floor, now really hammer home the advantage of getting back on level terms.
Superbly struck goal by the man leading the Chelsea line tonight, number 32. Tyreek George ties it up at 1-1. Here's Fofana. Run through the two teams for you in a moment here on Talksport as Enzo Fernandez plays a little 1-2 in the midfield with Harto. Play forward towards George again around the edge of the penalty area, and they might be able to walk it in with Buonanotte. They have! And they've scored twice in 90 seconds to turn it around at the beginning of the second half. George playing a part in that one as well. Buonanotte keeping his feet inside the penalty area, drawing the goalkeeper and just able to tow it past him. It's Lincoln 1, Chelsea 2.
Wow. Incredible what's happened at the start of this second half. I think clearly strong words were said in there from the coach, and to Chelsea's credit, they've come out at the start of this second half and have certainly tried to play and operate in Lincoln's half of the field. And that again there, some clever, intricate play right on the edge of the box. You're waiting for a Lincoln challenge, it never came. Buonanotte got on the ball, stepped into the box, everyone afraid to touch him, and in the end, from about 4 or 5 yards out, he just manages to poke it past the goalkeeper, and Chelsea now have the lead.
Well, he scored 6 goals in a loan spell at Leicester last year. That's his first for Chelsea. since his low move from Brighton, and they lead 2-1. Scoreline which 5.5 minutes ago seemed highly unlikely. Lincoln lining up Cheacock in goal, back five, Darikwa, Monsma, Bradley, Towler and Hamer. Then in midfield, House, Bartholomeev and McGrandles, with Street and Draper up front. Chelsea, Jurgensen in goal, Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah and Harto, Santos and Fernandez, Garnacho, Buonanotte and Gittins, and George. 2-1 to Chelsea.
Well, that's really rocked Lincoln. Now we're going to see what they're made of. Now we're going to see how they react. Chelsea now will play a little bit shorter. They can. Now they have the lead.
Santos was fouled. Poked forward though towards Enzo Fernandez. Referee Donohue's played the advantage. Gusto, right-footed ball curved in from him. Giddens was waiting. Darikwa got in there first, and he can head away for a corner.
Much better from Chelsea, just by playing in Lincoln territory, looking to take people on, looking to get crosses away. That one from Malo Gusto on the right-hand side. Again, just very nearly finding Tyreek George at the back post.
To Chelsea with their first corner of the second half. The first corner of the second half. Giddins, Gusto, clipped in by Garnacho. Straight ball. Harto did well to wrap his left foot around that and fired it briskly, but into the side netting. Lucky. And out of play for a goal kick.
Good run. First time we've really seen Jarell Harto really in the 18-yard box. But I saw him first half. He couldn't, because he was backpedaling and running back towards his own goal. But again now, Chelsea with genuine initiative and momentum for the first time in the game, really. And it came out of nothing. A brilliant strike from Tyreek George. And then that second one to give them the lead really now puts them in the driving seat.
A miserable start of the season for Aberdeen, and it continues at Tannadice. They're 2 down. They haven't scored a goal now in 4.5 games, and they trail to goals from Dolchek and Esselink as Lincoln win a free kick 15 yards outside the penalty area. Maybe a little bit more than that. House was the player that was caught. Michael Skabala, the likeable Lincoln coach on the edge of the technical area, is just giving a few instructions here to Freddie Draper. Well, Draper nods in the affirmative and turns away, makes his way towards the ball, which has been spotted down. Actually then walks away from the ball, has a word with one of his teammates standing by the referee, McGrandles. What will the delivery be? Chelsea keeping the line on the edge of the penalty area. It's in from Bartholomeev towards the far post. Bradley going up for it, couldn't get a touch. Shot on the turn from Street is blocked. Comes out towards McGrandles, who did well to play a ball round the corner. Bartholomeev, and a high ball out towards that left-hand touchline. Really well dealt with by Hamer. Controls it on the solar plexus. Right-footed ball swept inside the penalty area. Heads go up for it. It might break Draper's way. And a header towards goal. I think from Monsma was turned by the Chelsea defender to relative safety into House and then out of play, and then a yellow card is brandished for the earlier challenge in the midfield.
It's Enzo.
And Enzo Fernandez is booked.
He actually complained at the linesman, Jim, because he felt there should have been a flag. And he turned around and remonstrated with the linesman. The referee immediately booked him for that. I thought that was a little maybe unnecessary. Obviously from up here, we've got no idea of what was said, but nonetheless, Enzo Fernandez on a yellow card for dissent.
That's his second yellow card of the season. Lincoln 1, Chelsea 2 is the scoreline here. Chelsea can work it through the midfield. Buonanotte in space, clever little backheel flick. 1-2 between him and Andre Santos, and then Lincoln again with a strong challenge. Sees referee Donohue pull whistle to mouth to give the Blues a free kick. A similar distance outside the Lincoln box to the one that the Imps themselves have had at the other end. Well, Chelsea will be breathing a lot easier now, albeit that there's still, 35 minutes to go, and they would have seen enough in the first half to let them know that this is not done yet by any stretch of the imagination, but it is they who now have the fragile lead, with goals from George on 48 and Buonanotte on 50 after Rob Street's opener for Lincoln 3 minutes before half-time. Enzo Fernandez, who along with Santos is in the book. Here is Andre Santos to his right for Gusto. Gusto Poking around the corner for Garnacho, coming inside the penalty area, trying to get it onto his left foot, which he can, but it's only a low, tame effort that goes straight through for G-Con. Let's go back around the grounds. We'll start at Molineux. Wolves against Everton. Jeff Peters.
Wolves leading Everton by a goal to nil. Manetzi in the first half. Everton have sent on Dewsbury Hall and Beto at half-time, and Jai and Grealish about to come on for the visitors. Everton, who trail Wolves 1-0.
Gusto has just been fouled. That'll be a yellow card as well. We've got a Craven Cottage next. Fulham, Cambridge, Ian Abrahams.
10 gone in the second half. Fulham 0, League 2, Cambridge 0. 2 efforts from Fulham. Raul Jimenez, a bicycle kick over the top of the crossbar, and at the near post, Reed had his shot saved. Still Fulham 0, Cambridge 0.
And the major shock of the night at the moment is at Turf Moor. Matt Jones.
Yeah, still Burnley 0, Cardiff 2 here. Burnley trying to get back in the game. Marcus Edwards has just whipped a vicious shot wide of the far post. Other than that, they've not tested the goalkeeper in this half. Burnley 0, Cardiff 2.
Brighton on Easy Street at Oakwell. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Barnsley 0, Brighton 3. Could have been more as well, but Cooper made a good save from the onrushing believer who weaved his way to the box, but it was a good save to keep it wide. Still Barnsley 0, Brighton 3.
And to the racecourse, Adam Bridge.
Wrexham 0, Reading 0. James McLean much more in this game in this second half, much to the delight of the locals around us. Couple of decent crosses and a volley over from him, but we're still searching for a goal. Wrexham 0, Reading 0.
It's a half-time over on Talksport 2. Liverpool 1, Southampton 0 through Alexander Isak. And Wickham lead at Wigan 1-0. Keelan Boyd-Munt streak with the ball inside the penalty area. Great shape on that. Looking for Draper at the far post. And Jurgensen was able to come out and, with the aid of Chalobah, get enough on it to get it away. Now they'll be able to bring it forward again with McGrandles will link it over on the left-hand touchline. Trying to find a way through, didn't have too much room to work with. Draper came in and his industry alone's rewarded. With a throw to Lincoln, level the edge of the Chelsea box.
That was a really good ball in off the right side. It was actually Andre Santos who tracked the run of Draper and did really well because he was second favourite. I thought Freddie Draper was going to be all over that cross, but Santos did really well to defend it and head it away.
Now there's been another goal at Wrexham, or a goal at Wrexham, the deadlock broken. And we'll tell you about it in a moment. First of all, though, this latest long throw from Hamer inside the Chelsea penalty area, looking for a near post flick on. It's half cleared out towards McGrandles. Chelsea now looking for a counter attack. Can't get that, and free kick has gone their way as Bradley is pulled to the ground. Who is ahead in Wrexham? Adam Bridge.
It is Wrexham 1, Reading 0, and it's the first goal for Nathan Broadhead. He's driven that ball in from the left-hand side of the penalty area, about 12 yards out. It's a delicious finish into the far bottom corner. 12 minutes gone in the second half. Wrexham 1, Reading 0.
And a change here. And Chelsea will be bringing Alejandro Garnacho off. Stavo's going to come on to replace him. What have you made of Garnacho's full debut for Chelsea?
Nothing from him tonight, no. Again, first half, a couple of times he had the ball in speed. Didn't have a lot of service, let's be brutally honest, first half, but never made anything of it when he received the ball, really. So he's replaced now by Esteval.
So Garnacho off, and the young Brazilian is on to replace him. And immediately he's got to take his place in this defensive line for Chelsea. In fact, he's the one that stays on the edge of the D. The other 9 outfield players in a line behind him. Free kick punted high inside the penalty area. Looping header into the fray. Jurgensen comes out. He's dropped it. Flags up though. And it'll be a free kick which will be taken by Chelsea inside their box. 59 gone. Lincoln 1. Chelsea 2. Another goal in Burnley. Matt.
Yeah, and Burnley are back in it. Burnley 1, Cardiff 2. It comes from a horrendous clearance by the Cardiff goalkeeper, Trott. He kicks the ball straight to Edwards. He then passes to Fleming, who curls into the top corner from 22 yards. Burnley 1, Cardiff 2.
And it's Lincoln 1, Chelsea 2 here, with Enzo Fernandez getting the ball forward. Reminder, 2 live games for you tomorrow. Arsenal going to Port Vale, and Forest going to Betis. That's live on Talksport 2. The Port Vale Arsenal game here on Talksport. The build-up starts at 7, and both games kick off at 8. And a reminder, Boris Becker with Alan and Ali tomorrow morning on Talksport Breakfast, which will be a fascinating listen. That's from 6 tomorrow. We played an hour here. All the reaction tonight on the sports bar, reacting to a Chelsea victory as things stand right now. But Chelsea fans, what you've made of the performance is going to be fascinating. Buonanotte, Hato, Flicked off towards Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez to his right-hand side for Malo Gusto. Right-footed ball curved inside the area and headed wide by the diving Buonanotte.
Wow, good ball in that, Malo Gusto. Nice run as well from Buonanotte. Done more in a 10-minute spell here in the second half than he did in the entire first 45. But I'm expecting Chelsea now, with the lead, to have to soak up a bit of pressure. That's still going to come. Those corners and throw-ins and wide free kicks, they're going to come in. But there will be some more room for the likes of Buonanotte, Enzo and Andre Santos to kind of feed those forward players in front of them. Can they, on the counter-attack, Chelsea, put this game to bed? We'll see.
Well, there's a little stumble from one of the Lincoln defenders. It was Montsma. It looked as though Tyreek George was going to get in behind him as a result of that, but Montsma didn't touch the ball, and George, then attacking it, did so from an offside position. So it's a free kick to Lincoln. And Montsma, we talked earlier about the 7-2 defeat that Lincoln had against Liverpool here a few years back. Montsma scored that day. Since then, it's hardly featured really in the grand scheme of things. He's had 2 ACL problems. And he's got himself back into a position to be fit again. It was he that hit the inside of the post for Lincoln in the very early exchanges of the game. He'll be delighted, irrespective of the score tonight. Victory for him is just being here and being a part of it again. It's a great story.
All credit to him. Having double ACL problems is very, very difficult. One's bad enough. You get another one, they're very tough to deal with. So he's got some guts and some character, no doubt about that.
Will he be able to get his head on this? Latest throw from Hamer. Threatens to go short, launches it in long. Near post flick actually came from Andre Santos, but his goalkeeper was able to pick it up easily. And then Jurgensen doing well to wriggle away through the traffic inside the penalty area and bowl it out towards Enzo Fernandez, who is unceremoniously stopped in his tracks by the retreating House, and he becomes the second Lincoln player booked.
Yeah, good run that from Enzo Fernandez immediately. Once Jurgensen collected that long throw-in, Enzo Fernandez was sprinting away from the edge of his own box, and the goalkeeper rolls it to his feet, gets over the halfway line, knows there's a bit of pressure coming, just waits and quite cleverly buys the foul and just earns his team a little bit of a breather.
Falco back from 2-0 down in that Premiership match at home to Hibs. It's 2-2. Ball goes out to the Chelsea right-hand side. First chance for Stavo. Plays the ball back to the halfway line. Back towards Gusto again. Gusto to Andre Santos. Gets his right foot underneath it, pings it out to the left-hand side where Giddins takes a step back, controls it on his chest. Back towards Enzo Fernandez, trying to get himself into a shooting position, but couldn't wriggle his way past McGrandles' challenge. And Lincoln can clear.
A little bit more room now for Chelsea already. Just beyond the hour mark. Malo Gusto, really good play. The pressure from Lincoln now isn't quite as intense.
Gusto out towards Stavo, right-hand side of the penalty area, stands it up towards the far post, but too much height on it, and it curves away from Giddins and goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Lincoln right-hand side. So what's the message from Michael Skubala then? How do his side just exert a little bit of control to get back into this?
I don't think a change will be too far away now from Michael Skubala and Lincoln. I think that his boys have given him a really aggressive hour, and at 2-1 down, find themselves probably wondering on earth, the players out there are thinking, how on earth are they behind? Chelsea just absolutely scored 2. The first goal was a wonder goal, the second one was a cleverly intricate one, but in 5 minutes their lead evaporated. So I think now the team might need a little bit of help from the bench.
And they have got options on the bench. Remember, they made 5 changes today. Bayliss, who starts the vast majority of games in the centre of midfield, could be called upon. The veteran James Collins up front. They've got Adam Reach, who played nearly 400 games in the Championship in his career, that they can bring on down the left-hand side. So they're by no means down to the bare bones. Rico Hackett, who's been ill in recent days, another that they can call upon, who's an international footballer with St. Lucia. So still got a little bit of depth, but I don't think changes will be too far away. 20 gone second half. Chelsea leading it 2-1. Lincoln trying to get themselves back into it. Will certainly feel they deserve parity at the very least from what we've seen over an hour and a bit. And it's another throw. Hamer again. curves it inside the penalty area with that long throw, but it's going to be easily brought away. Enzo Fernandez chesting it down, ball over the top. Stavo's going to chase after it. Derrickwood did enough to put him off, then takes what looked for a moment like an injudicious touch back towards the edge of his own penalty area, but he could turn away neatly, place it out towards the left-hand side, and Buonanotte stopped any further progress, has given the free kick away. Free kick that Lincoln had taken really quickly. Controlled on the right-hand side by Draper. Oh, Draper's got away from Enzo Fernandez, flicks it forward. Shot comes in from Street, but the whistle had gone, and it's a free kick to Lincoln, about 7 outside the penalty area, right of centre. Only one goalless game in the League Cup tonight, but now the deadlock's broken there as well. Ian Abrahams.
Fulham 1, Cambridge 0. At last, Fulham score. Brilliant save by Eastwood from Jimenez, but when it was recycled, Emil Smith-Rowe stuck it in the back of the net. Fulham 1, Cambridge 0.
Second goal of the season for Emil Smith-Rowe, but own goals still Fulham's top scorer so far this season with 3. It's almost a season's worth already.
Chance here, Jim, for Lincoln. What we're talking, we're about 25 yards out, centre of the goal, direct free kick. I think that's Monsmer who's over it, who had that strike that hit the post in the first half. He's given himself a decent run up at this.
Well, this will be some story if he could ping this into the top corner. He's gone for goal, and he's put it most of the way back the Stacey West stand. About 12-15 rows back into the Chelsea fans, and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah. The cathedral just ducked there for a minute. I think it thought one of the windows might get done. But that was a chance, but he never got any dip on it, did he? Hit it, and it just kept going up and up and up and harmlessly over the bar.
You've been waiting for your moment, haven't you? It's Fofana on the left-hand side for Chelsea. 2-1 to Chelsea, but possession turned over cheaply again. And here's Street through the 6-yard box, and it's a last gasp clearance from Chalobah to steer it away from Draper and keep the lead intact.
Yeah, Wesley Fofana there. You know, he does so many good things, but he's got poor mistakes in him.
Derrickwood from a quickly taken throw, curving it inside the penalty area, and it might break for Hamer. Hamer pulling it back. Opportunity from a tight angle on the left-hand side of the box, and it's gone just wide of the near post. Excellent approach play again. Bartholomew, I think it was, that got the effort in, feeding it in towards Draper. And Lincoln close, but midway through the second half still can't get back on level terms. Another goal at Barnsley, Mark Wilson.
Another goal for Diego Gomez. Barnsley 0, Brighton 4. Gomez played in edge of the box, made no mistake, slotted past the keeper. Barnsley 0, Brighton 4.
Chelsea will make a triple change here. We're going to see Neto, Cucurella, and the youngster Shin Mahuka, who made a brief Premier League debut against Southampton back in February. 17-year-old England under-19 striker, and he's going to be coming on in a moment. So Chelsea have already made one change, about to make another 3. Here's Street, and that one has gone out of the ground. He's flighted its bounce just on the top of the roof of the Stacey West stand and will roll down towards Sincil Bank itself. Out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, last 5 minutes, Lincoln have just sort of wrestled the ball back and have got Chelsea just backpedaling a bit in their own box. Desperate challenge from, really important one from Trevor Chalobah moments ago, when he did really well to intercept a cross that looked dangerous. And they've had 1 or 2 half chances, haven't they, to really hit something on target. So no surprises now, Jim, that we're going to see a triple change for Chelsea.
And while they make those changes, we'll go back round the grounds. We'll go to Turf Moor, Burnley, Cardiff. Matt Jones.
Still Burnley 1, Cardiff 2 here. Burnley trying to get back in the game, but it's Cardiff who've had the most recent chance. Chambers shooting wide from 30 yards. Burnley 1, Cardiff 2.
And to Molyneux, Jeff Peters.
Wolves 1, Everton 0. Manetzi with a goal in the first half. But those changes from Everton bringing off some of the big guns from the bench. It's really lifted them. They've got a free kick in a dangerous position just outside the area. Grealish a real handful here, but they're trailing. Wolves 1, Everton 0.
Gittins, George and Fernandez, the three players coming off for Chelsea. Lincoln are now going to make a quadruple change. We'll go to Wrexham. Here's Talksport's Adam Bridge.
Wrexham 1, Reading 0. Nathan Broadhead's first goal is what separates these two sides. They've not won at home yet this season, but they look like they're on their way. Reading have just rolled the dice, though, with a quadruple change, but it's all Wrexham so far. 20 minutes to go. Wrexham 1, Reading 0.
So Lincoln making their quadruple change. Give you the details in a moment. First of all, though, Andy, your thoughts on the triple change that has been made by Chelsea?
Yeah, again, I'm not surprised. As I mentioned, that last 5 minutes, Lincoln have actually started to apply a bit more pressure like they did in the first half. So no surprises that not only is Enzo Maresca looking for fresh legs, but also the experience, particularly Mark Cucurella, who's come on. Not quite sure exactly where he's going to operate yet until we get going. Pedro Neto, of course, and Mahuka has gone down the middle up front.
So Neto on the left-hand side, but Mahuka, as you say, still waiting for his first senior goal, is playing through the middle. Cucurella, at the moment, taking up station in the heart of midfield.
He is. He's going to play exactly where Enzo was. You're right, Jim. He's in there alongside Andre Santos. So, yeah, we'll see how they fare. But I'm not surprised Enzo Maresca feels the need to do that.
I'll give you the details of the Lincoln changes in a moment. And here's one of them. The Biku on the left-hand side of the penalty area trying to find a way through. He can't, and Cucurella is in there very quickly in the midfield, and it's just given a little welcome to the game by Monsma. Another goal at Wrexham. Adam Bridge.
Another goal for Nathan Broadhead. Wrexham 2, Reading 0. Crossover from the right-hand side. Terrific header. Hit the underside of the crossbar. We all thought it had bounced down and gone in. Sam Smith dived in to make sure, but here we think it's Broadhead's goal, and that should be the game for Wrexham. Wrexham 2, Reading 0.
Chelsea leading 2-1 here, and on the attack with Pedro Neto. Mahuka in the middle. Neto clipping it in towards the far post. Header down, hits the Lincoln defender. It's half cleared. Back out towards Gusto, and he, on the turn, fires over the bar.
I think that's the best bit of football Chelsea have played all night, actually, there. Mark Cucurella, lovely 1-2 with Pedro Neto, who sprinted from 45 yards out all the way to the byline, clipped a ball up at the far post. The first header at that far post was blocked. And then the shot from Malagusto was always going over on his left foot, but really good football that. That's where Chelsea have got to punish Lincoln now. They're going to have to push. They're going to have to really, really threaten as much as they can. Chelsea got to seize that opportunity on the counter-attack.
So let's clear up those Lincoln changes. A straight swap in midfield. Bayliss coming on for Vafola Mayab, and then they've changed essentially the front line. Street and Draper off. Collins and Abiku on. And Rico Hackett has come on as well for House. So the four most attack-minded players in the Lincoln team all changed with 20 minutes of the game to go. James Collins on. He made the 700th senior appearance of his career at the weekend. What a milestone that is. Has played in this competition against Chelsea in the past. A fourth-round tie defeat with Shrewsbury back some 11-12 years ago. He's also got a couple of hat-tricks in this competition back in the day, one for Swindon and one for Luton. So vastly experienced number 9 leading the line now for Lincoln. 73 gone, Chelsea 2-1 up. Lincoln looking for a way back into it, and more immediately looking for a free kick because Chalobah went down on the edge of his own penalty area and is furious that nothing's been given his way.
Yeah, and I understand Michael Skubala in changing that front line because he needs pressure applied to Chelsea's defenders, and then the midfield players can stay in touch with that, and the defenders can get up on the halfway line and really again continue to force the issue. Without that pressure on Chelsea's defenders when they're in possession, the whole team starts to drop away and encourage Chelsea just to pick them off. So he's really going for it, the coach here.
Another goal for Wickham at Wigan. They lead 2-0. They're going to be in tomorrow's draw by the look of it. McNeely doubling the lead after Boyd Muntz's first half opener. Run through all the scores for you in a moment with Harto in possession here for Chelsea, sliding in. He's lost his balance, and McGrandles has been able to win a throw which will be taken on the Lincoln right. So this is how it's looking. Barnsley 0, Brighton 4, and Diego Gomez has scored them all. Burnley 1, Cardiff 2, Fulham 1, Cambridge 0, Lincoln 1, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0 over on Talksport 2, Wickham 2 up at Wigan, Wolves lead Everton 1-0, Wrexham 2, Reading 0. So a throw to Lincoln near the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. This is probably just about position A for Tom Hamer to arch the back and launch a long spinning delivery inside that Chelsea box. It's half cleared by Mahuka. Out to the left-hand side for Bayliss. Bayliss to Collins. And now they will bring it forward with Towler. He's lost possession for a moment and then given a free kick away.
Yeah, that's good play from Mahuka. Doing his defensive work there, making sure he gets a foot in to stop Towler, who's just shaping up to whip that one towards the penalty spot.
Chelsea taking the free kick. Go back for Philip Jurgensen. Haven't won this competition in 10 years. They beat Poch's Spurs back in 2015. They've won it 5 times. They've been runners-up 5 times as well. It's 7 years since they last won a domestic trophy. They've had quite a few cup finals in that time and ended up coming short in them, including that year where Liverpool beat them in the final of both competitions back in 2022. But this is a hurdle that they've found a little bit slippery at the moment. They're getting over it. We've got 14 to go. Lincoln trying to get themselves back into the game. Ball flicked on towards Rico Hackett. Chelsea have got it away. Stavo knocks it square to his left-hand side. It's Neto, and it's wide. He took a touch and then dragged it towards the far post. And G-Cock diving full stretch, grateful to see that beat his outstretched palm and go wide. He got his ankles right.
Yeah, wasn't the best ball actually to Pedro Neto. He just had to wait for it a little bit. Took a touch. Ideally, he would like that first touch to have taken himself into the 18-yard box, and then he'd be a lot closer to really work G-Cock. As it was, the shot was about 22, 23 yards out, always wide of the far post.
High up and under in the midfield by McGrandles for Lincoln. Cucurella bustling, snapping away. Tigerish in the challenge, laid it to Pedro Neto. McGrandles, it's another poor ball back, and Hackett very, very nearly got to that. But Bikwu was lurking with real intent as well. Fofana was able to turn hastily, hurriedly, and frantically on the edge of his box to be able to deal with it and get it away. They have this knack of being architects of their own downfall. Yeah. We've seen that for the goal that Lincoln have scored, and they did their best again there, Chelsea.
Certainly did. It's the ball from Hato there, actually, towards Fofana. He was closely guarded, but did well actually to wriggle out of that and make sure that nothing became of it. But now it's about, as I mentioned, trying to engineer that one good chance to put this game to bed. They're more than capable of it now. They've got fresh legs out there, and there's that little bit more time and space for everyone when they receive the ball all of a sudden.
Santos to Stavo, to Gusto, and out to the Chelsea right-hand side. Mahuka making a run inside the penalty area. Stavo used that as the decoy and fires a shot in from the edge of the penalty area. Towler can clear. A player who's already served a suspension this season, having accrued 5 yellow cards in the league. But his crime count has been okay tonight. And Chelsea work a poor ball from Hato down behind Pedro Neto, and out for a throw that Derrickwell will take on the Lincoln right-hand side. They've got a little over 10 minutes to be able to get themselves back into this game on Talksport. They're trailing by 2-1 here. The LNER Stadium tonight, in front of a crowd of a little over 10,000, 1,800 or so travelling Chelsea fans away to our right-hand side. I think they're going to be delighted with what we've seen, and several of them may well be phoning the sports bar on the way home tonight. You can as well, 03717 223344 for your reaction to how your side have gone on this evening. A reminder that Liverpool still leading Southampton 1-0 live for you right now over on Talksport 2. They've got about 25 minutes to go in that. Alexander Isak, the man that broke the deadlock just before half-time. Here's the Rikwa. He's jumped up for it on the right-hand touchline, couldn't keep it in play. It was an overhit ball and goes out for a Chelsea throw. They'll be in no hurry to take it.
No hurry at all. And you know what, Jim? It's just about getting over the line. This game tonight, it started in a frenzy, didn't it, from Lincoln? It really did. It was chaotic, but it was difficult for the Chelsea boys to handle that. It really was. And eventually they fell behind, but they come out the start of the second half, probably after the coach saying, come on, I need to see a little bit more from you guys. You are capable of a lot better than that. And then in fairness to them, they scored a brilliant wonder goal from Tyreek George. And then obviously that Buonanotte one within minutes just allowed them to breathe. And as I've said, now all of a sudden they need to manage it, keep the ball, don't be sloppy at the back, don't give any encouragement to Lincoln to throw it in that box or to whip wide free kicks in. Just be nice and safe and secure, serve it forward to those fresh legs where they can operate.
Jurgensen clears from our right hand side. It's headed on by Hamer, and then McGrandles has just eased under the flight of the ball over on the far touchline to give a free kick, which then the ball has been kicked away over on that far touchline. Is the referee going to produce a yellow card for that? No, he's not. Buonanotte's got away with it.
Enzo Maresca out of the technical area, urging his team to hold a higher line. Geacock is hitting a free kick, the goalkeeper for Lincoln, from inside his own half.
Chelsea's line is 5 yards outside the penalty area. It's in towards Bradley. Bradley heading it on. Back from Hamer. Should bounce for Fafana's way. He can take a look over his shoulder, see who's where before he volleys it clear. Dariqua mopping up at the back. Turned forward immediately by Bayliss. And then Monsma has lost it. And it's 3 against 2 as Chelsea bring it forward. Neto's got Cucurella to his left. He's slathered it in for Buonanotte. And Geacock kicks it away. Making a save with his right foot to keep Lincoln in the competition.
Well, good save that. Lewis Monsma breathes a sigh of relief. He was the one that carelessly gave the ball away. Pedro Neto is so fast anyway. Was sprinting through the middle. The goalkeeper makes a really good stop.
Now Cucurella shows Neto where he wants the ball. Little back heel flick back towards Neto. Cucurella with a shot on the turn straight at Dariqua, who's right in behind him. And it goes out of play for a Chelsea throw. But they're 8 minutes away now from a place in tomorrow's fourth round draw.
Yep. And the more they can play in this sort of territory where they are 30, 40 yards from goal. As I say that, Hato decides to run backwards towards his own goal with the ball.
Chalobah. And he will turn away from Biku, who's on loan from Coventry. And scored his first goal for Lincoln at the weekend. Came off the bench to net in that win against Luton. Only made his debut at Burton 10 days ago. Had a good loan spell at Grimsby last year. He's moved up a division this. Chelsea with Gusto. Back for Chalobah. Back for Gusto again. Gusto. Andres Santos trying to turn in the midfield. He's been fouled. And it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea, and another change is going to be made. We'll go back round the ground, starting at Craven Cottage. Ian Abrahams.
Still Fulham 1, Cambridge 0. The goal scored by Emil Smith-Rowe, but Cambridge had a couple of chances in the last 10 minutes, and it may not be a surprise they've got an equaliser here. Fulham 1, Cambridge 0.
Everton looking for an equaliser as well. Here's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, they're trailing Wolves 1-0 through that Manetzi goal. They've come very close. James Garner with 2 efforts. One, a free kick from the left-hand side, came back off the crossbar. They are still in this. Wolves 1, Everton 0.
And Burnley hoping to launch a fight back at home to Cardiff. Matt Jones.
They are, but it's still Burnley 1, Cardiff 2. Scott Parker has turned to the likes of Mike Tresor and Ashley Barnes to try and rescue something in this game, but Broyers had their only shot in recent minutes. That one too close to trot. Burnley 1, Cardiff 2.
Lincoln clear here. A bit of Chelsea pressure. 6.5 to go. It's 2-1 to the world champions on a day where at the moment it looks as though they're going to survive a pretty substantial scare, having been behind at half-time. We're going to be seeing Rennie Okoronkwo on very shortly for Lincoln, the winger on loan from Everton, who came on as number 10 in the game against Luton here at the weekend. Lincoln launching another ball inside the penalty area, down towards the right-hand side. Dariqua going up for that. It's a Chelsea header away, and that means it's going to be a long throw. They'll load the penalty area. They're going to make the change first. Now we're going to see Monsma come off. Big ovation for him. Okoronkwo coming on to replace him. Quickly to Wrexham, Adam Bridge.
Wrexham 2, Reading 0. 7 minutes to go here. Lewis Wing just forced to save from a free kick by Callum Burton, which almost sneaked through as Reading desperately try and get back in this game. Wrexham 2, Reading 0.
Still Wigan leading 2-0 at Wigan. Still Liverpool 1, Southampton 0 over on Talksport 2 with 20 minutes to go. Long throw inside the penalty area from Hamer. Too high for Bradley, it's headed away. Nice touch by Hackett. Back out towards Hamer. Right-footed ball driven in. Really good defensive header. Chelsea can steer that one clear as well. Now Gusto taking a touch. And then getting away from Bayliss. Going out towards the right-hand touchline. Chelsea easily clearing. But 3 Lincoln players converging on the man in possession. Won it back. And now Bayliss can put his foot on it and calm things down for Lincoln as they look to try and build again.
2 really good defensive clearances there from Chelsea under big pressure. Those guys are piling in the box, but it was Fofana and Chalobah that stood really strong there.
Chalobah with a header down. Kukurea helping it on towards Mahuka. Mahuka has done well. Hamer committed himself. Mahuka rolled away from him, side-footed the ball forward. But in doing so, there was no man ahead of him, and it's gone straight through to the edge of the penalty area.
Jim, Tom Hamer is absolutely shattered because every time there's a long throw on the other side of the field, he has to run 50, 60 yards to go and take it. And he must have done that 20 times in the game. He's on his knees. He's given absolutely everything he's got.
Well, he's got to keep going because Lincoln have made the changes now. So he's got to play through it. 4 minutes to go. Lincoln looking for the equaliser that will take the game to penalties. Everton looking for an equaliser as well, but it's gone from bad to worse for them. Jeff Peters.
It has. It's Wolves 2, Everton 0. Couple of minutes remaining. Tolu Arakadare on as substitute. Race forward. Delightful little chip, little dink over Travers. That should be enough here. Wolves 2, Everton 0.
And another goal in the Diego Gomez show for Mark Wilson.
Enough him though, he's gone off. Barnsley 0, Brighton 5. It's a goal for the youngster Harry Howell. Good work again down the left from Watson. He squared it and Howell curled in a beauty. It's Barnsley 0, Brighton 5.
So Harry Howell scoring, putting the icing on the Diego Gomez cake. He got the other 4. Barnsley 0, Brighton 5. So as things stand right now, Brighton going through Cardiff, Fulham, Liverpool, Wickham, Wolves, Wrexham and Chelsea, who are 3 minutes plus stoppage time away. Lincoln working the ball down towards Hackett. Turned it first time forward for a big run, but it was mopped up by Chalobah. Chalobah with a loose tired clearance towards Fofana. And then it's flicked back by Fofana because it was a hospital ball towards him really, and Chalobah just calmly stands on the edge of the penalty area, flicks his head at it, diverts it back to his goalkeeper Jurgensen.
Yeah. He's got to try and eliminate those unnecessary, unforced errors. That's where the Lincoln goal came from. It was an unnecessary goal to concede this evening. Put them on the back foot and gave the home team all the encouragement they needed first half. They've run out of gas, Lincoln, and that's understandable, the way that they went about it. Chelsea scored those 2 goals just around the 50th minute, didn't they? 48 and 50, to absolutely knock the stuffing out of Lincoln a bit. And they've managed the game better. Still think there's another goal here for them if they want to really, really just take a little bit of care.
Well, Lincoln's last win against the Premier League side here was back in 1994. They beat Palace 1-0 in the first leg of a second round League Cup tie. Goal from David Johnson, but ended up losing the second leg at Selhurst. They went out, and it looks as though that run is going to continue tonight, although Gusto's ball back for his goalkeeper is not the best, and Jurgensen forced to control it and then almost do a Cruyff turn inside his own penalty area to try and get the ball away from Bikwu. He has slammed it upfield. Mahuka can't control it. It's going to come back. McGrandles forward here for a Bikwu again. The options to his right hand side include Collins. Lincoln haven't been able to get him into the game, the veteran marksman, since he's come on. Well, they can flick it down for Rico Hackett here on the right hand side of the box. Now the Rickwood delivers. Oh, Jurgensen's come out. He didn't get anything on it at all, and the man at the far post took his eye off the ball and spoons it over the bar, but I think it would have been offside anyway, wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, great ball in from Derrickwa, who's also played really well tonight. The right back has got forward as often as he can. As Rico Hackett rolls that ball back to him, he delivers it first time. It's an out-swinging cross around about the penalty spot. Jorgensen's committed to come and get it. Delighted to see the flag go up for offside.
Brighton get a 6th at Oakwell, Mark.
Tin Ayare has lashed in after a good run into the box. They scored 6 in Oxford in the last round, 6 tonight at Barnsley. Barnsley 0, Brighton 6.
That is a job very well done tonight against the side of the top 6 in League One. So are Lincoln, and they've run Chelsea close. Jurgensen has just picked up a yellow card for delaying the restart from the goal kick. This ball forward catches Mahuka offside. So, as we tick into stoppage time, here's another Lincoln free kick from inside their own half, but a chance to get the bodies forward. They've got 4 minutes of added time to be able to try and salvage something here, as Southampton equalise at Liverpool over on Talksport 2. Shade Charles with the goal. Liverpool 1, Southampton 1. That Lincoln free kick doesn't come to anything. Chelsea can bring it away down the right-hand side. Mahuka making a run off the ball. Stavo going alone. He's gone some 30 yards, ran into a lot of traffic, and then Derikwa can bring it away and takes a touch. Plays it out towards the touchline, and he's been fouled. Cucurella, just letting the adrenaline get the better of him.
Well, I think actually that's a decent foul that from Mark Cucurella there. Just in case Derikwa was to get away. He was on the halfway line. Cucurella knew exactly what he's doing. He's going to just take him out there and try and break the game up, which is what they do. But the goalkeeper again is going to launch this one to the edge of the 18-yard box. Chelsea trying to hold a line.
In he comes towards the edge of the box. Bradley going up for it. Fofana's just about dealt with him and then volleys it away as it bounces off Cucurella. 4 towards halfway, and Derikwa heads it forward. Brighton have won 6-0 at Barnsley. This one's still got 3 minutes of added time to go. But Chelsea are going to be bringing Reggie Walsh on in a moment, their final change. But here comes Hackett, coming in off the right-hand side, clipping in towards the edge of the penalty area, but the deflection spun it high up in the air. Harto heads it back, Cucurella volleying it clear again. Bradley's on the end of that, and the experienced defender with a tired header, who was easily picked up by Pedro Neto. He threw himself in towards Bayliss looking for a free kick. He hasn't got it. Hamer brings it forward, and really good covering from Gusto on the edge of the D. Stops the cross being an effective one.
Yeah, that ball from Tom Hamer just behind his teammate on the edge of the box. Just gave Chelsea a chance then to try and counter. Not interested. They're just trying to keep the ball now. Very, very tired, the home team, but it's a risky ball there. But Wesley Fofana rolls a straight ball in to Cucurella, who ends up now getting a yellow card when the ball to play there is surely in behind for Neto. Estevao off the far side. Anything, you don't want to roll something into someone's feet where they've got nowhere to go with it. It's exactly what Fofana does, and there's a chance here to load it into the box.
Including towards goalkeeper Zach Gcock, who is forward here in his fluorescent yellow, and he's actually made his way down to the right-hand side of the penalty area, and everybody seemingly, who's a Chelsea player, is oblivious to his presence there.
I was going to say, it's a long way back from there, son, back in between them posts. He's now just moving himself across the line a bit.
Minute of stoppage time to go. In it comes from Hackett. It's volleyed away by Fofana. Who'll win the seconds? It is Hackett. And he's dropped his shoulder twice and turns it forward. And now played down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Ball inside the box was a poor one. It was easily cleared from Bradley's delivery. Gcock has now come back. Fofana heads it away on the edge of the penalty area. Lincoln win it again, but Bayliss has fouled his man. It's a free kick to Chelsea, and that will be that. They're going to get home. They'll make the change. Buonanotte coming off. Reggie Walsh is going to come on. An appearance bonus for him. He's still a month short of his 17th birthday. They play in the Conference League semi-final second leg last season, and he'll come on for what will probably be the briefest of his senior appearances, even by the end of his career.
Yeah, well, Buonanotte is the one who leaves the pitch, probably with the most important contribution on the night, the goal that gave Chelsea the lead. Didn't figure a tremendous amount in the game, but this has been a real examination for Enzo Maresca's team, and it's one that they'll be thankful they can get through with.
Just seconds remaining. Jurgensen with the ball forward from that free kick, headed away by Hamer on the edge of his own penalty area. Lincoln in the midfield, diverted real high up and under by Bradley, which is well brought down by the Lincoln left winger, Bikwu chasing after it. The ball goes back for the goalkeeper, and Jurgensen's is the last touch of the night. And Chelsea survive, and they will feel as though that was a survival in the end. Having been a goal down at half-time, the world champions trailing at Sincil Bank to a goal from Rob Street, but they responded well after a very indifferent first-half performance. Tyree George, 3 minutes into the second half, and Buonanotte seconds later. Chelsea hung on to win. Lincoln certainly had their moments. They were game excellent for much of the night. Chelsea will know that they've been in an epic cup tie here, but it is one that Chelsea have won, and they still haven't lost a League Cup tie to lower division opposition for nearly 30 years. 40 minutes ago, that didn't seem likely. Full time, Lincoln 1, Chelsea 2.